I finally did the one thing I swore I would never do. I let an innocent man walk into Blackwood Apartments, knowing he might never walk back out. The moment the front door closed behind him, my replacement process stopped increasing. We'd all like to believe we'd make the right choice when survival is on the line, but fear has a way of rewriting your morals. It doesn't ask you to become evil all at once. It asks for one compromise, then another, until you no longer recognize yourself. Before this night was over, I would discover what the building really wanted from me, why the young man had been chosen, and the horrifying moment I realized I had crossed a line I could never cross back. The young man introduced himself as Ethan. He couldn't have been older than 23. He smiled when he saw me.
"I guess you're the landlord,"
he said.
"My lawyer told me someone here could explain why I inherited this place."
He looked exhausted, hopeful, completely unaware that the building had already begun watching him. Every word he spoke made the knot in my stomach tighten. I wanted to tell him to run. Instead, I welcomed him inside. As Ethan signed the visitor log, the rent ledger opened by itself. Fresh ink spread across the page. My percentage remained frozen at 18. A new line slowly appeared beneath it. Ethan Carter. Replacement process. 1% complete. My hands began shaking. The transfer had already started. I hadn't pushed him. I hadn't tricked him. All I had done was let him through the front door. Somehow, that was enough. The lights throughout Blackwood Apartments suddenly became brighter than I'd ever seen them. The cracked walls looked cleaner. The rotten smell disappeared. Even the whispers that haunted every hallway fell silent. The building wasn't celebrating Ethan's arrival. It was rewarding my obedience. Then the elevator chimed. Inside was a silver key with a handwritten tag attached. Landlord access, level below basement. I had searched this building for days. There was no basement, or so I thought. I took the silver key and stepped into the elevator. There had never been a button below the basement before. Tonight, a new button glowed beneath every floor. B1. The elevator descended far longer than the building should have allowed. 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2. When the doors finally opened, I wasn't underground anymore. I was standing in a hallway that stretched farther than the eye could see. Thousands of apartment doors lined both sides. Blackwood Apartments wasn't a 6-story building. What I had inherited was only the entrance. Every apartment door had a brass nameplate. I expected tenant names. Instead, they carried the names of landlords. Some dated back to 1893. Others I recognized from the journal. At the very end of the hallway, one nameplate looked untouched by dust. Richard Holloway, Landlord, 1984 to 2026, the previous owner. Before I could touch the handle, a calm voice spoke from behind the door.
"You finally found us."
My blood froze. Richard was supposed to have died 42 years ago. Richard looked exactly like the photograph in the journal. Not older, not younger. He smiled with the exhaustion of someone who had waited decades for another face to appear.
"The building doesn't keep ghosts.
He said quietly.
It keeps landlords."
He explained that every landlord eventually reached 100%. But instead of dying, they became part of Blackwood Apartments itself. Watching, maintaining, recruiting.
"The tenants pay rent.
He whispered.
We pay with people."
Then he looked directly into my eyes.
"Now it's your turn."
The elevator bell rang behind me. Ethan had followed me. He stood at the entrance to the corridor, terrified, holding the journal in his shaking hands.
Daniel,
He whispered.
the ledger says my replacement process is already 28%.
Richard smiled. Not at Ethan. At me. Then he asked the question I had been dreading since the night I inherited Blackwood Apartments.
Are you ready to become a real landlord?